Hello again, Reg here. If you watched my previous one of these, first attempt at landing on Venus, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch that one because I explained the rocket. This one I'm just going to go for the trip. So, same rocket, same build, same setup. I know it works, so let's give this a shot. So, I'm going to fuel, stage the rockets, and ignite. We're on our way to Venus again. Whoa, where are you going? Hi, Reg here again, or Aver Reg Guy. Basically, what we're going to do is part 2 to my trip to Venus. If you were watching the last one, or if you haven't watched it yet, go back and watch that one. I explained the rocket and the build of the rocket and everything, but this one we're just going to attempt to go there again. And this time I'll try to remember to save while I'm in orbit in Venus too. So, let's just get going here. Someone's going to go launch. And just a minute ago, I tried this and it went off on a spiraling mess, so I'm not sure what happened there. Let's just check my staging first here. So revert to build, check my staging, rocket, 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 so all 5 rockets. Weird. Okay, and let's just give it a shot. So, thrust is at full, everything looks good. Stage to turn on the rockets and go. That's better. Okay, so again, standard sort of thing. I'm going to give you the step-by-steps right from launch to land on Venus, and hopefully this time I'm not landing on the top of a mountain on Venus again. That was a bit of the issue, as I started sliding down sliding down the side of the Venus, which doesn't really do that good for your rocket in the big picture of things. So again, I'm just watching that bottom stage. When it's ready to be dropped, I will hit staging right now. Okay, continue on our angle so that we're getting a proper orbit for Earth. Let's check the map. So it's looking good. Again, we don't need super high altitude, just get it into space, into an orbit. It's kind of fun doing this. I've got my phone right here. It's kind of fun doing it at the computer because I can watch it on a bigger screen up there. And for those people that aren't 16, it's kind of handy. Okay, so we're cruising along. We now shows that we will break atmosphere, which is good. So I'm just going to wait for the staging. There we go, stage, and okay, fairings made it. I've staged before where it's a little bit too much into the atmosphere and makes a bit of a dent on the top of your rocket. So turn off the thruster, get up to the highest point, point the rocket in the direction. Come on, keep turning. It's a very heavy rocket at this point, so lots of fuel. And I do not have the thrusters on the side turned on yet. But I just don't need them. We got time. Okay, full thrust. Let's get us into an orbit. It's a strong rocket, so it'll get there. I explained the engines that I used on this. There we go. Good timing. So I'm just going to eject that stage. Just move a little bit. There we go. Perfect timing. Let's go to Venus. navigate to, and you can see transfer windows all the way around the other side there. So let's just accelerate to it. So this is where we want to have the Earth approaching this transfer window. And as soon as we get it there, then or get close to that, then we will slow down and get ready for the approach. Because what we want to do is we want to watch that until the words change from Earth and transfer window to escape. And I don't want to be going too fast when we hit that, because I want to be able to slow right down. Get us out of there. We go. So take it right back, go to Earth. You can see again the trajectory is going backwards because we kind of need to slow down, right, to get to Venus. Venus is on the inside, so we're going to be sort of dropping to get down to Venus. Okay, so there's our transfer window. Okay, so we're going to come this way and we need to transfer there. So okay, let's get myself pointed in the right direction. Okay, a little bit more. I just like to use these little steps just to help us get lined up nicely for it. Okay. And transfer window. So we're on our way. So let's back out. I'm going to speed up time a little bit here. And again, now we're just watching the furthest point from Earth starting to extend out as we pick up speed. And we're going to have that basically go to the point where it reaches out to Venus, so that we can then make a connection to Venus, or to Venus's orbit, really, is where we're. And the reason we want the transfer window where we do is so that it's coming into a path to get to Venus's orbit that's not like through the sun or something, right? So you want to make sure that you go around until you get to the point where Venus is going to be at a near approach by the time we get to it. Okay, so this thing extends faster and faster as it goes out, so just be ready for it. You can see I've got a really high orbit satellite up there. A whole bunch of them that are low Earth, plus my space station is down below. Okay, so once I get going a little bit faster, I'm going to turn down this time acceleration. Oh, we're intersecting the moon for a second there. But that's okay, we're just going to shoot on past. Okay, slowing down the throttle. And again, the plan is to bring this escape closer to the dotted line, but don't shoot past it. And you can see I keep slowing down my approach more and more as we get there. As soon as that dotted line goes away, I want to reduce all thrust. You see how it's starting to move, the dotted line? That's letting me know that we're getting close to it. Just about. Yeah, and I'm really low on the thrust right now, right? There it goes. So it's disappeared. I'm going to zoom out, zoom in to Venus. There's the approach. Venus is, like I mentioned in the other video, pretty close to Earth's size, so it does have a pretty good gravitational field. There we go. So I'm at 300 and something, close enough. So let's go around and go to Venus. So there's the Earth coming out, or the rocket coming from the Earth. We're looping around. I'm going to slow down. I have overshot in the past. Don't want to overshoot. That's kind of an oops. There it's coming in. Okay, and as soon as we got in there, you see how that circle stops moving? Just makes life easy. Okay, don't overshoot it. We're going to adjust our rocket. Now we can move a little bit faster, as I mentioned before, because the rocket is now a little bit less fuel. You see we're going to have a ton of fuel though. We got lots left over at this point. 65%, yeah. The thrusters use up fuel, that's why I'm just doing a little bit of a fuel transfer there. Oops, don't go down. Oh no! That was a bad thing. Okay. We will just continue. I'm going to take off again and come back here. So don't go away. Okay, so I've revert to launch, went back to launch, and just now coming into the approach on Venus. So pretty close to where I was before I mistakenly removed my heat shield before I get to the hardest planet to come into without a heat shield. So again, we're going to come in, make sure we do not overshoot it. I'm going to loop myself around so I'm facing the other direction. So I can slow down. I'm not going to touch the other end of the rocket there at this point. I will do a fuel transfer a little bit later. Okay. So I hope you find these videos educational, perhaps a little entertaining, in the fact that I'm not perfect at this, but I enjoy the heck out of it because I've always been really big on science and space, and I follow every SpaceX flight, every flight that NASA's doing. So to me, when I saw this was out there, I just thought this was awesome. And it's so well done that it's there actually is some learning that happens with this. I've been in education for almost 35 years, and when you get something like this, that's a really good simulator. That's always nice to have. Okay, so getting to the closest approach again. And then we are going to run the thrusters to get ourselves into an orbit. Okay, close enough. Let's point into the direction of the travel so that way we can reverse the thrust on it. So there we go. So thrusters are running. Same thing we looked at before. Eventually that line is we're going to slow down enough that Venus will draw us in and start pulling us into its orbit, or into orbit around it. You can see my other probes. I do successfully have probes that have landed on Venus. So we're just doing another one here. Don't have to keep adjusting this, but because there is a bit of a curve to this, orbit that we're starting to develop here. You have to adjust it every now and then. I have a little bit faster approach on this one than I did the first one we did, because I got stuck in the gravitational field of the moon and the simulator stopped showing me the path beyond. So I had to just do it myself and figure out the trajectory, figure out where I was going so that I would get back on path, which I did. So I was quite happy. But I'm going a little bit faster this time around than I did the last time, I think. We got lots of fuel though, as you remember, so it's not a big deal. And again, the reason I do have such a large fuel capacity in this one is because I use this same setup for doing a number of different approaches on different planets and different moons of the different planets. So just speeding it up a little bit, because it does start to really slow down as it gets closer here. And then it'll flip around because we're getting so far along here. Okay, I do not want to enter yet, so let's just loop around now. Again, you want to have a shallow approach, right? So you got to get in close, don't dive into it. Diving into Venus is just going to be bad. Unless you have a lot of thrust to push against her, which we don't have that much. Okay, let's see, where are we here? Come around a little bit more. And yes, I will try to remember to save this time before we start our approach. Okay, thrust up. Yay, we've captured into orbit. We still have a ton of thrust, so we're good. Okay. We have orbit, so let's go create a quick save, not load one. Venus approach. And I've had one before, I guess, so we're going to overwrite that quick save. So yes. Okay. So let's pull her in. So I'm just going to start going reverse thrust again. You can see we're coming in on the other side of the planet. There we go. So let's see where we are here. So I think this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to eject this rocket and then shoot it back in the other direction here just to get it out of the way. So how close are we? We got a bit, so let's give a little bit of thrust. Okay. Yep. So let's disconnect. Start turning. And I want to switch to this guy. There we go. And switch to this guy. So that one is now flying off in the other direction in a downward orbit, which is good. And let's spin around. Just want to get him out of my way so that he's I could have transferred the fuel, but I don't need to. I've got lots. So let's see where it's going. That should pretty much do it, I think, for that one. Because he's coming in pretty hot. You can see it's heating up. Now, I would spend time sitting there and watch them, but this is the one we're trying to... Uh-oh. Who's down there that's in trouble? Okay, we'll have to come back and see if he makes it. Oh my goodness. Okay, he's going to make it. That's fine. Yeah, it's burnt up. Okay, good. No problem then. Switch to this one. And as soon as we get closer, to the atmosphere, it'll flip us over a little bit. We're still a little bit above, you can see there. Here we go. Oink. There you go. I always like that it does that because it allows me to be facing in a direction that kind of makes sense here. So again, I'm going to turn this off, turn on the engines. Yep, so they are on or available if we need them. And we'll try for a smooth landing this time. Where are we coming down? Okay, just over top of somebody else. I've got too much stuff up there now. Okay. It's always fun to see if you accidentally crash into your own ships. But again, pea soup, right? So you got to come in at a pretty shallow angle to get a safe approach. Nice big chunky heat shield on it, so it should make us do fine. And don't pop off the heat shield in space before you get down, because that could be a little disastrous for your probe. I just reverted that one, like I say, back to launch because it was just not worth letting it continue. It wasn't going to be pretty. Hit the self-destruct button. So we're still going at 1400. Heat shield is starting to warm up. You definitely want to keep the arms of the lander tucked in at this point because they will cook off really fast. We're still quite high up, so I'm not concerned at this point. I'm letting the atmosphere slow me down, so I don't even need to turn on my thrusters. And it does start to get a little bouncy and shaky here, as you can see. Especially once you start breaking through the 1000. Heat shield temperature is still coming up. Oh, that was close. I just about didn't adjust it soon enough that if you are a little slow or you go too far, you start to burn up. Let's see, can we still make it? Can we still make it? Nope. But we saved. So we're going to close this, load quick save, and we call this Venus approach. That's what happens if you don't control it properly. Okay, real fast. How are we doing? We're good for time. I try not to go over 30 minutes for these, but let's go. Okay. Slow down a little bit more. Okay. Let's do the fuel transfer that I forgot to do last time. Okay. Let's disconnect. Switch to this one. Okay, where is it going? It's going to point you straight down. And I'm not going to worry about that one anymore. Let's go to this one. Because we know that one's going to eventually hit the ground, right? So it's no big deal. So again, if you're not careful and keep it lined up, it will start to just roll over on you. So I'm just getting us so we're just about to enter atmosphere. There we go. I just sped up a little bit in the approach. Oh yeah, let's turn on the rockets again. I disconnected the shield again. Hopefully it stays. As long as I don't get turned funny, we should be okay. Why are we heating up so fast? No. That was weird. As soon as I disconnected it, it seemed to like it had disappeared. This one. I'm just going to immediately take us in. I reverted again. Okay, let's jump the rocket. Try better this time. So let's go turn on the rockets. Okay. Just make sure that they're working. Yep. Okay, let's not accidentally press anybody else on there. I'm just going to go until we flip over. There it goes. Okay. We can do it this time. 17 minutes. We'll get her done. We'll get her done. I wish I can say I do these on purpose just to make this more entertaining, but sometimes that's why astronauts need to practice, right? It's the little thrusts really make a big difference, just keeping it pointed in the right direction. And again, at first here, I could go and run the thrusters a little bit just to slow us down. But don't go too much because you will burn up your heat shield. Like I say, I know I did come in a little bit hot coming in this time compared to the last few times I've done this, but okay, let's concentrate here. So heat shield temperature's coming up a little bit. We got lots yet though. Almost went too far. And it doesn't take it long to burn up, especially in this rough area I'm going through right now. Just getting a little bit off balance. That's almost slid. Okay, temperature's starting to come down. Yay, okay. Start breathing. Passing out while I'm doing the game is probably not a good idea either. Okay, so let's see where we are. Where are we? There we are. Okay, we should be good. Let's try to eject the shield. So once we get slow enough, it should fall off. Height is still up quite a bit, so we're good. Just going to try to slow down a bit. The shield is just about to pop. There it goes. So again, this atmosphere is really thick. So once you do start slowing down, it slows down pretty good. Let's put down legs. There goes the last piece of the shield. Now we went down faster than it is. So let's not crash. There's the ground. Looks like a better terrain to land in. Keeping an eye on my altitude here. So you can see we're at 1600. Got lots of fuel. Just watching the ground come up here. This should be a nice one. Nice and soft. Hey, save the game. Oh, there we go. So, yeah. Welcome to Venus. There we go. So, it made it. It's really badly burnt up. If you look at all the scorch marks all over it, it got toasted, but it made it. Thank you very much for sticking with me. Hopefully you did. If you find these helpful, entertaining, any of the above, I think it's over there somewhere, is the subscribe. So please do subscribe, like, ring the bell, so that way you know. I'm going to try to come up with a bunch of these. Do a landing on every planet, on every moon. The moons of some of the planets are pretty tough because their gravitational pull is low. So we have to do a little bit more dancing. But this same little rocket, or a little probe here, I get to all the planets with. So thanks for watching. Again, like, subscribe, and hopefully you find this stuff entertaining. I'll piece this one together into one. There'll be two videos, one of me failing, and then this one of multiple attempts to get it done. Thanks for watching.